The Book of Hanok, Episode 4.
And Hanok went and said, Azazel, you shall have no peace. A severe sentence has gone forth against you to put you in bonds. And you shall not have toleration nor request granted to you because of your unrighteousness which you have taught, and because of all the works of wickedness and unrighteousness and sin which you have shown to men. Then I went and I spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them. And they pleaded with me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of Yahweh of the Shemayim. For from there on they could not speak, nor lift up their eyes to the Shemayim, for shame of their sin and for which they had been condemned. Then I wrote out their petition, and the prayer in regarding to their spirits, and their deeds individually, and in regard to their requests that they should have forgiveness and length. And I went off, and I sat down at the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, in the southwest of Hermon. I read their petition till I fell asleep. And see, a dream came to me, and visions fell down upon me, and I saw visions of rebuke, and a voice came bidding to tell it to the sons of Shemayim and reprimand them. And when I woke, I came unto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping in Abel Stel, which is between Lebanon and Sinser, with their faces covered. And I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in sleep. I began to speak the words of righteousness, and to reprimand the watchers of the Shemayim. The book of the words of righteousness, and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers in accordance with the command of the Kadosh Great One in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now say with the tongue of flesh and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men to converse with and understand with the heart. As he has created and given to man the power of understanding the word of wisdom, so has he created me also, and given me the power to reprimanding the watchers, the children of the Shemayim. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared thus, that your petition will not be granted unto you throughout all the days of eternity, and that judgment has been finally passed upon you, even so will not be granted unto you. And from here on you shall not ascend into the Shemayim unto all eternity, and in bonds of the earth the decree has gone forth to bind you for all days of the world. And previously you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and you shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. And your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor yet your own, even though you weep and pray and speak all words contained in the writing which I have written. And the vision shown to me thus, see, in the vision, clouds environed me and mist surrounded me, and the course of the stars and the lightning sped and hastened me, and the winds of the vision caused me to fly, and lifted me upward, and carried me into the Shemayim. And I went in till I drew near to a wall which was built of crystals and surrounded by tongues of fire, and it began to terrorize me. And I went into the tongues of fire and drew near to a large house which was built of crystals, and the walls of the house were like a mosaic floor of crystals, and its groundwork was of crystals. Its ceiling was like a path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubim, and their Shemayim was as water. And I entered into that house, and it was as hot as fire and as cold as ice. There were no delights of life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling took hold of me. And as I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face, and I saw a vision, and see, there was a second house, greater than the former, and the entire portal stood open before me, and it was built of flames of fire. And in every respect it is so excelled in splendor and magnificence, an extent that I cannot describe to you its splendor and extent. And its floor was of fire, and above it were lightning in the path of the stars, and its ceiling was also flaming fire. And I looked, and I saw therein a high throne, its appearance as crystal, and the wheels thereof as the shining sun. And there was a vision of cherubim, and from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look upon it. And the great esteem sat upon it, and his garments shone more brightly than the sun, and were whiter than any snow. None of the messengers could enter and look upon his face, because of his magnificence and esteem, and no flesh could look upon him. The flaming fire was round about him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around could draw near him, 10,000 times 10,000 before him, yet he needed no counselor. And the most Kadushim who were near to him did not leave by night nor depart from him. And until then I had been prostrate on my face, trembling, and Yahweh called me with his own mouth, and said to me, Come here, Hanok, and hear my word. And one of the Kadushim came to me and woke me, and he made me rise up and approach the door, and I bowed my face downwards. And he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, Fear not, Hanok, you righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Approach here and hear my voice. And go, say to the watchers of the Shemayim who have sent you to intercede for them, You should intercede for men, and not men for you. Why have you left the high Kadush and eternal Shemayim, and lain with women, and defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like the children of earth, and begotten giants as your sons? And though you were Kadush, spiritual, living the eternal high, you have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have brought forth with the blood of flesh, and, as the children of men, have lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do who die and perish. Therefore have I given them wives, also that they might impregnate them, and bring forth children by them, that thus none might be lacking to them on earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal high, and immortal for all the generations of the world. And therefore I have not appointed wives for you, for as for the spiritual ones of the Shemayim, in the Shemayim is their dwelling. And now the giants, who are produced from the spirits and flesh, shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men, and from the Kadush watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. As for the spirits of the Shemayim, in the Shemayim shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, on earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the women, because they have proceeded from them. From the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the giants, from the beings of whose flesh the spirits have gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment. Thus shall they destroy until the day of the complete end, the great judgment, in which the age shall be ended, over the watchers and the wicked. Even so shall be completely ended. And now, as to the watchers who have sent you to intercede for them, who had been previously in the Shemayim, say to them, You have been in the Shemayim, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless matters, and these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on earth. Say to them, therefore, You have no peace.